This week on Newsnight, the coronavirus has made its way to the United States, found out where it started and how the country is taking precautions, the Iowa caucuses kick off tonight, and the impeachment trial of President Trump is expected to end Wednesday. Plus, a Pitt University student died after being struck by a PAT bus. Find out how the university responded, and remembering Kobe Bryant, how his legacy affected a Point Park student. All that and more coming up on Newsnight. Good evening, I'm Zoey Angelucci. According to the World Health Organization, coronavirus has now claimed 213 lives in China. The 2019 novel coronavirus, also called 2019 nCoV, is a disease that causes pneumonia, acute respiratory syndrome, and kidney failure. A study released in the Lancet Journal on January 13th states that the new coronavirus strand may have originated in bats and then passed through an intermediary animal. The study authors state that there is a possibility that animals sold at a seafood market in Wuhan, China are responsible for the distribution of the virus to humans. WHO has stated that this is now a public health emergency of international concern. In China alone, there are 9,020 confirmed cases of coronavirus, while over 15,000 suspected cases. Globally, there are 9,026 confirmed cases as of January 31st. There are currently 5 reported cases of the coronavirus infection here in the United States. According to the CDC, this is potentially a very serious health threat, but should not be a safety worry at this point. Medical professionals' biggest emerging challenge with the coronavirus is that they don't yet know everything they can about the virus. Professionals are responding to the disease outbreak in the simplest way they can: identify cases, isolate the people, diagnose them, and treat them. The U.S. is taking precautions by placing different travel restrictions to different areas. Alex M. Azar, Secretary of Health and Human Services, said, "We are working to keep you safe. We are constantly preparing for the possibility that the situation could worsen, and your health and safety has been and will be our top priority." End quote. The U.S. Senate will perform the final vote in Trump's impeachment process this Wednesday. It was announced at the trial on Friday that there won't be any new witnesses. According to official statements from U.S. Representatives' Permanent Committee on Intelligence, select Democrats pleaded to call former National Secretary Advisor John Bolton as a witness. Senate Republicans voted against this notion. There will be no more witness trials in the Trump impeachment. Final arguments began today at 11 a.m. After final arguments, senators hold the opportunity to speak on the floor until the final vote on both impeachment articles. This final vote will take place Wednesday at 4 p.m. Tonight starts the 2020 election season in the Democratic presidential campaign as the Iowa caucus begins. An unprecedented turnout is expected due to new rules for the caucus procedure, which, according to the Des Moines Register, will, quote, break with decades of tradition in 2020 by allowing voters to cast absentee ballots, end quote. But while candidates Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg are campaigning heavily in the state, Senators Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Amy Klobuchar are stuck in Washington for the impeachment trial. With a record number of undecided voters in the state, it's anyone's game, but Biden is pulling in the lead, with Sanders trailing very close behind. It's going to be warm with a couple chances of rain this week. Zoey Vitelli joins us with the forecast.
Thanks, Zoe. This first week of February is going to be unseasonably warm on certain days, and other days that regular February weather that we are expecting. On Tuesday, you're going to see that it's about 55 degrees as the high, and Wednesday is 60 degrees as the high. But other days like Wednesday and Friday and Saturday and so on will be in the low 30s to high 30s with some chances of snow later in the week. And that's your weather forecast for this week. I'm Zoey Vitelli.
Coming up after the break, does your dorm room have bed bugs? Find out what one Point Park student went through when she found them in her roommate's bed, and how one Pitt student lost her life crossing the street. We'll be right back.
Go. to our new website, uvu.pointpark.edu.
Go, 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 go.
Join UView and find your herd.
Be like,
Join EOP.
and 3, 2.
Join EOP.
Grab him now, or else I can
Join on point with politics.
3, 2, 1.
Join Pioneer Sideline.
Loneliest number that you'll ever do.
Welcome back. According to Point Park University freshman Lulu Trone, she and her roommate Lakin Porter found bed bugs in their floor 8 Thayer Hall room. The night before spring semester started, the freshman girls found the bugs in Porter's bed. Point Park maintenance called an exterminator to confirm it was bed bugs. The girls had to move into a Lawrence Hall dorm with all of their clothing for 4 days while the exterminators sprayed their room. They sprayed the room 3 times to kill all of the bugs. The girls are currently back in their original room. Exterminators have rechecked their room twice since moving back in. Point Park University has released no public information to students about the incident. A University of Pittsburgh student lost her life after being struck by a PAT bus in Oakland. Frank Smith has that story.
A college student was fatally struck in Oakland. Barbara Como, a senior at the University of Pittsburgh, was killed 2 weekends ago by a Port Authority bus. Como was struck by the bus around noon on January 18th. According to Pittsburgh City Police, the incident occurred at the corner of DeSoto Street and 5th Avenue. Como was rushed to UPMC Presbyterian Hospital in critical condition and was later declared dead. The University of Pittsburgh released a statement saying, quote, "The Pitt community is deeply saddened by the tragic death of Barbara Como of Chester Springs, Pennsylvania, a senior anthropology student and research assistant with the Learning Research and Development Center and resident of Lothrop Hall. As the Pitt community mourns the loss of one of our students, we send our heartfelt sympathy to her family and friends," end quote. When reaching out to the Pittsburgh Port Authority spokesperson Adam Brandolph said, quote, "We are not commenting, at least until the completion in the police investigation," end quote. The university has offered counseling to those affected by the incident. Hours and resources for counseling can be found on the University of Pittsburgh's website. Planning on finishing her degree a year early, she was spoken very highly by her lab director, who said she was, quote, "quick and generous," end quote.
The Student Government Association held its weekly meeting to approve a new club on campus, the Point Park Table Tennis Club. This upcoming club aims to create a central hub for students who are interested in playing ping pong either recreationally or competitively. With 20 prospective members, they are set to launch in March. Also, SGA discussed plans for National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, which is the last week of February. Stay tuned. After the break, the Point Park women's soccer team has a new coach, and a Point Park student remembers the late Kobe Bryant. We'll be right back.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family.
Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap, or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and
and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
The famous American chain restaurant Bar Louie has filed for bankruptcy, abruptly closing 38 underperforming locations across the U.S. The Gastro Bar restaurant filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last week. This is usually put in place for a business to reorganize itself. According to the business, the remaining locations will keep operating as normal thanks to lenders and business investors. This includes the 2 locations in the North Side and the waterfront. According to a press release, Bar Louie plans to emerge from bankruptcy within the next 90 days. Point Park University recently announced the hiring of John Newberry as the women's soccer team's new head coach. Newberry has a history as the top assistant coach and recruiter at the University of Cumberland. He assisted in all aspects of their women's soccer team for roughly 4 years and has been an assistant coach on the NAIA level for 7 years. Newberry will be replacing interim head coach Bethany Moreski. Newberry's vision for the program is to become a regular contender for the conference championship as we continue to build the culture and reputation of the Point Park women's soccer program, end quote. According to Point Park University's Director of Athletics, John Angelucci, John's philosophy on the student-athlete experience aligns with the mission and vision of our athletic department and university, end quote. Basketball legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 other people lost their lives in a helicopter accident last Sunday. Abby Poknes joins us with that story.
Recently, the Sports Nation lost Kobe Bryant, a 5-time national champion and 3-time MVP who entered into the NBA right out of high school. He played 20 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers as shooting guard and wore both the numbers 8 and 24 on his jersey. Throughout his career, he finished his life out as a loving husband and father of 4 young children. On Sunday, January 26 at around 9:47 a.m. Pacific Time, a helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California. The helicopter was carrying 9 passengers, including Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. Unfortunately, there were no survivors. Although the accident happened across the country, it struck chords to the athletic community. The Pittsburgh Steelers released an online article through their website which compiled tweets made by Steelers players on how Kobe Bryant affected their lives. James Conner, a running back for the Steelers, exclaimed how he is just trying to be legendary like him. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds simply retweeted a tweet from the United States soccer team. They had tweeted their condolences to both Kobe and Gianna. The tweet also included pictures of Kobe involved with the soccer team. I had the chance to sit down with Jordan Jackson, a shooting guard and small forward for the Point Park men's basketball team. Your opinion, what was Kobe's impact on the NBA?
I think the impact that Kobe had on the NBA was a major aspect to everyone's game, and especially the NBA. He touched a lot of people's hearts, the fans, the people, and he really connected with a lot of individuals such as myself.
So following that question, did Kobe have any impact on your life?
He changed the game for me in a lot of ways, in the way how I try to get my mentality to be like his, the Mamba mentality.
We'll be right back.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service? Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government, by the students, for the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1.
Please visit our website. Please, it's a nice website. Please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, YouView is for you.
The Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium named their 2 clouded leopard cubs last Monday. The almost 3-month-old cubs were named Gale and Lynn and were born to their parents, Seiya and Pai, in November. Zoo officials say that the pair spent some time in the animal care center when their mother was unable to nurse them. The cubs are now healthy and growing, and keepers say that the cubs will be moved to the outside yard in the warmer weather. The cubs are said to be curious and love to explore their playroom. The duo can be found wrestling in their indoor playroom at the islands throughout the winter and love lots of attention from visitors. I definitely plan on making a stop to the zoo this summer. That's your news for tonight. From all of us here at NewsNight, I'm Zoey Angelucci. Thanks for watching and good night.